I was empowered to see that I do have a voice and it will be heard.
This started with people dealing with people issues.
It's been very eye-opening. In some sense, it's awakened a sleeping giant in myself.
You hear them chant, you know, fire up, and I won't take it anymore. I really felt empowered.
I would never have thought that I'd be doing some things that I'm doing now 18 years ago when I joined ACORN. I never would have thought that I would be leading actions. I never would have thought that I'd be negotiating with banks and other kind of powerful people that I thought was out of my reach. I never would have thought of it doing any of this stuff 18 years ago. And now I'm not only negotiating with banks and negotiating with other kinds of, I'm meeting people that I never thought I would meet, like vice presidents of the United States.
Thank you.
This year, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. Yeah.
This organization for 3 decades now has been a voice for the voiceless. You've come together in an organization that started with a few mothers in Arkansas and now extends to 100,000 families in 30 cities. And in addition to being a strong voice, at times you've been a sharp elbow.
My name is Sancho Bencaret. I'm from Florida to Little Haiti.
Leda Brown from Houston, Texas. Hello, everybody.
Hey, my name is Lee Willis. I'm the president, 26th Ward, St. Louis.
I'm Fanny Brown, and I'm from Oakland, California.
I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm with Minnesota ACORN, and we've been very, very busy.
I'm Mabel House, and I'm recording from both Pine Bluff and Little Rock chapter.
ACORN is working with unions, environmental groups, hotel workers, and organizers, and more. ACORN is very busy in the state of Louisiana. Thank you.
30 years is actually a long time when you think about it for an organization. I know lots of organizations that started that I knew about back then that's no longer in existence now. So 30 years is a long time. One of the reasons ACORN got involved with housing issues because the membership, all of our issues, housing, whether it's banking, whether it's whatever the issues are, come from within the neighborhood.
In Southwest Philadelphia is where we started our first squatting campaigns. And the reason that we did it was because there were more than 25,000 abandoned houses, and there were so many people that needed a home to live in.
They won't give the houses to them, so we're going to take them anyway, because we know they belong to us. We'll fire up and stand up.
We were bold. We squatted. We actually took houses. Then what we did was we supported the family that moved in as squatters until they had the water turned on, until the back taxes were erased from the tax rolls. Once we started squatting in Southwest Philadelphia, it spread like a wildfire. And many of those houses that we squatted in 20 years ago, families are raising their grandchildren, their houses are fixed up, they're homeowners.
Well, this is one of the rehab buildings done by ACORN. They squatted, in empty buildings that were foreclosed by the city and just locked up there, and they squatted, and this is how it is. So from the actions, we were able to get these empty buildings, and the organization rehabs them.
Mi nombre es Mercedes Bueno. Yo soy miembro de ACORN por 7 años. Donde vivo, solo tengo un cuarto de dormir. Y los 3 niños duermen en la sala. Soy madre soltera, trabajo y siempre lucho porque mis hijos tengan un buen porvenir. Gracias a ACORN y al trabajo que yo me he esforzado, yo logré conseguir mi apartamento nuevo. Y, ¿qué le digo? Estoy excited. I'm so happy.
No, this was an old condemned
Yes.
crack house.
Drug infested.
Yeah, that's what
People
we
on the
found
block
after.
has a story to tell, you know,
Yeah.
that I don't want to
So,
hear.
and then, you know, in 1995, they fixed it, and this is what it is now. You know, very beautiful.
I'm Ida Leopold, and I'm from Manhattan, Kansas. We've been working with the living wage. We took it to the city commission, and they agreed to put it on their agenda for this spring. We're running into a lot of trouble with the Chamber of Commerce because all the small businesses belong to the Chamber of Commerce, but they're also the ones watching over the money for the economic development. And we feel like that's letting the fox watch the hen house.
That's right.
When we started the living wage campaign, there was two avenues that we decided that we would go in. One was corporate accountability, and people with, you know, businesses in the community that get tax breaks and incentives, to hold those guys accountable to pay a living wage to their employers. What I think we are saying that there's some responsibility that goes behind that tax break, and that you, Mr. Business Person or Miss Business Person, are responsible for some of these things that happen. You should pay your people a living wage.
More than 500 protesters gathered at a fiery rally today to demand higher pay at companies with city contracts. Members shouted that they just won't take low wages anymore.
Do we want jobs that don't pay enough for us to live on? Do we want jobs that pay $4.25 an hour? Do we want jobs that leave us without enough money to pay our rent?
The living wage was a fantastic fight. It was a hard fight. We organized and mobilized people, got involved, and we won the campaign.
It was written into law that we now have an ordinance that anybody, any big company that's coming into the city of Denver, they will pay $8.03 an hour and hire from the community, which they was not doing in the past.
ACORN has had such great luck with this campaign that people that's not ACORN members are calling us to come and assist them with starting campaigns in their cities.
Now I'm about to introduce to you someone that we're all well acquainted with. He led the fight for the passing of the living wage ordinance. He is the president of Chicago ACORN, and he's also the newly elected alderman of the 15th Ward on the south side of Chicago. I bring to you the new alderman, Ted Theodore Thomas.
We've been here before, haven't we? You save the state millions of dollars a year, but I'm quite sure all you want to do is get a little piece of the pie. Is that right? Union now! Union now! I think that you deserve anything and everything that you can get out of these legislators.
Before the union, nobody was getting vacations. You know, you just worked.
I was just a little girl, skinny legs, a pressing curl. My mother always thought I'd be a star. The way before the record deal.
It's been going on now for years that people have been talking about the problems they were having with the educational system.
You as parents, just based on your own experience,
can start to impact on those critical decisions that affect your children every single day in the classroom.
In New York, we have ACORN schools.
It took us about 6 months of just talking about what it is we thought a good school should look like. How should teachers teach in good schools? What should the philosophy of the school be? And most important to us as parents was that there was a respect for low and moderate income parents.
Young folk want to do something. Most time people don't look at young people as an asset, but we look at them as an asset. They can do a lot.
Our mayor, Giuliani, in New York, is one of the worst mayors in New York, in the country. He also runs one of the worst workfare programs in the country. Most people are afraid of this man, and it's very difficult to get people to go against him. But we literally crushed his initiative to where he was forced to apologize on TV, which is something I know hurt him to his very being. So anyway, I just say that to let you know that working with ACORN and building coalitions, you can do things that are almost unheard of.
The letters stand for Work Experience Program, even though our mayor says that we're not real workers. And this was work before we took the jobs. It'll be work after we leave because somebody still has to clean the streets, clean the parks, etc. But the mayor just chooses to decide that we're not real workers, so he doesn't have to pay us real pay and doesn't have to give us the same fair protection that other Rick City workers have.
If we have 5,000 people, now we can begin to demand. Yeah. Today's work! Today's work!
Angry voices shattered the evening in one of the quietest and wealthiest neighborhoods in our area.
Busloads of protesters descended on a Long Island community to bring attention to what they call predatory practices of some lending companies.
The protest was organized by ACORN, a nationwide advocacy group for the low income. They claim Golden and several other area lending companies prey on the poor by charging excessive interest rates.
They call it predatory lending or loan sharking. They say that some of America's biggest financial institutions are committing abuses that victimize poor people. At International Square on K Street, they tried to storm the elevators to get up to the offices of Solomon Smith Barney, which they accuse, along with AmeriQuest, of reaping large profits off high-interest home mortgages to the poor.
The banking has always been an issue that ACORN has been concerned about, banking issues like Community Reinvestment Act. And we just moved from one phase of that issue to another phase right now. Predatory lending is a big issue that ACORN is working on.
And they prey on them. And I was so angry.
People that had homes for 30 years and paid them off, and now these scam artists, as I call them, come into the neighborhood and just take people's homes from them.
I went and I told our members, do not get involved. Call this number if you're gonna, but it was like too late because a lot of people have gotten involved. A lot of people's homes was taken away.
Those people that was getting harmed was our people. Those was ACORN people, those people, low-income people in our neighborhoods. Those were the people that getting harmed the most. And so we tried to get an appointment to visit with AmeriQuest. They wouldn't meet with us. So we're gonna meet with them on Monday with lots of folks.
I got some money. Y'all want to get some money? I'll give you some money.
People this way, please.
Okay.
Go, look, we got Boston that way. No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Who are we? ACORN! Who are we? ACORN! We're fired! We ain't taking no more. We're fired! We ain't taking no more. We're fired! We ain't taking no more.
The situation right now is that
The negotiations is in progress, and we are saying that there will be no more business as usual.
Okay, we did talk to Mr. Kirkland in Orange County, California. He agreed to a meeting with him, and I think you can say, okay, this is a victory. And he's the president of AmeriQuest, and that's about as high as we're gonna get. All right. Who are we? ACORN. Who are we? ACORN. Who are we? ACORN. Who are we? ACORN. Who are we?
Es que yo siento que solo una persona no podemos luchar. Nosotros teníamos una consigna en El Salvador, bueno, la guerrilla de mi país, decía, el pueblo unido jamás será vencido, ¿verdad? Entonces yo considero que si todos nos unimos, vamos a lograr más fuerza, más poder, y los políticos van a decir, bueno, estos tienen fuerza y poder, los vamos a buscar a ellos, ¿verdad? Yo considero que yo sola no podría hacerlo.
It is a true grassroots organization, and it has remained that way.
ACORN is offering the same thing that we've been offering, and for the last 30 years is an opportunity for people to make a difference in their community, for them personally to make a difference in their community.
I've watched ACORN grow from a small local organization to a national power that every day strives to put into practice the motto of my home state of Arkansas: the people shall rule.